Hey, welcome back. Now now that we've gone in and you remember we created our fictitious website, it'll look like this right here. We created ourexotics.net. I'm not in a rush to put content on there because I've got some other sites I need to get content on, but I got this website, I picked it up. It was an expired domain that somebody let go of, and I thought, well, I could do something with that. profishingtips.com. It sounded good and it had rank. So you know, if it's already got links coming in, they're valid links, they're legitimate links and traffic coming in, it's expired, well, nobody else wants it. I'm gonna pick it up and I'm gonna make some content for it. So today we're gonna go and reverse engineer some content on fishing and fishing tips and things of the nature and fill up this website. So if you want to follow along, we're going to go over here and we're going to use one of the first steps I like to go to. I like to go over to Surfer. So it's Surfer SEO. And over here, if I'm just starting out with a blank website with nothing on it, Content Planner is a place I like to go. So Content Planner, this is not going to be a local, so I'm not putting anything local beyond just United States local. What this is doing is you can go in there and select, if you want, you could select different countries, you can select towns. Like I could put Fort Worth. And if I select that and I do a search, it's going to search Google and the results that come up for Fort Worth is going to be showing in there. So it's going to be more strategic of location, which is good for local SEO stuff. But pro fishing tips, that's a nationwide type thing. So we're going to go over here and we're going to change that to United States. All right, so we're going to do it nationwide. And for the keyword, we're gonna choose. Now I could put domain. I could just go straight up, look at a particular domain that's doing fantastic and just create a content planner around that, because what that's going to do is I could pick like one of the best results for fishing, a website I kind of want to mimic what they're doing. But I like doing it more broad. Typically I'll go to keyword and I'll just put in fishing. Usually I'd put a longer keyword or a couple words in there. I could put fishing tips, but we're just going to start out with fishing because you know what? I've got 19 out of 20 credits left for Content Planner and it expires in 3 days. So I got 19 left. They give you 20 every month. So, and for that, that's plenty to keep somebody very, very busy. That's just for Content Planner. There's other content editor, audit, SERP analyzer, things that have a lot more searches, a lot more ability. So we're going to use one Content Planner credit, fishing. So you don't want to just go willy-nilly and start popping in things. Besides, it takes time. So create Content Planner. That's going to go over here and it's going to work on this. That's going to take a few more minutes. So while we wait, we're going to go back to our empty WordPress website, just another WordPress site, perfect fishing tips. So this is the same thing as what I left off on ourexotics.net. So first of all, let's go over here. Let's go over to dashboard. We've already seen this site. I just registered it, I think yesterday, and it's already got spam comments. I haven't put any anti-spam stuff in there yet. So let's go in here and see the junk we got. Yeah, okay. Let's bulk actions. Let's move to trash. Apply. There we go. So we got all that moved to trash. Plugins. So you know what? There's an update. And I said the first rule, always keep your stuff up to date. Site kit. We definitely want to keep that updated. So update plugins. Sometimes I'll go read what the update is. Sometimes it's exciting just to kind of see what features we're about to get. So that's all updated. Now let's go to posts because it's got some default stuff in there. All post. Hello world. Let's delete this. Move to trash. Apply. All right. Categories, we just haven't categorized. We don't know our categories yet because we haven't planned it. We're doing a reverse engineer search right now on over here. See, that's still running. So we don't know what all categories for that. We don't even know if we want to do blog posts on there or just pages. So let's go look at our pages. All pages, privacy policy and a sample page. So let's go ahead and get rid of our sample page. We'll keep our privacy policy. Sites like to, search engines like to see privacy policies. They like to see that, especially if you have a login system and all that. So it's not just, and if you have cookies, really anything that it could be collecting any data, there's any potential for that. So we're gonna leave that there. Go to tools. No, let's go to settings in general. Let's make sure everything is set up in there. So we got perfect fishing tips, just another WordPress site. Let's do find the best fishing tips and tricks right here. Let's just put that in for right now. I don't know what our tagline is going to be. As we build our content, we'll be able to change our site title and tagline as we build our content and be like, yeah, it would probably be better this. It doesn't have to match what the URL is. It doesn't have to. It doesn't hurt. It definitely doesn't hurt to match it. You know, it doesn't hurt to match up your focus keywords with what your URL is and your site title is. But you don't have to. But to me, if I'm looking something up and I see something matching all around, I'm like, that's probably the site I'm looking for. That's probably the information I'm looking for. So again, like I said, I try to create an email account, a Google account for everything, every website, so it's all separated, even if it's funny looking like with a .com in it. But I put perfectfishingtips.com at Gmail for this email address. So no user default roles, anyone can register. I don't have that. I'll probably add it to where people can register on the site because it's a fishing site. I don't know, maybe we might do something with that. Just think about this and anything you might be interested in. I mean, if you're into crocheting, knitting, if you're into boating, if you're into, I don't know, if you're a nurse, you know, and you like to talk about, you know, things that I guess not really talking about patients, but you know what I mean, like medical stuff. And if you're a doctor, and I don't know, whatever you have a skill at, whatever you have a knowledge at, you know, if you're a wedding planner, you know, maybe you might create one about how to plan a wedding, you know, and you might make a lot more than just planning weddings yourself by teaching other people how to plan weddings, and advertisers will take care of you. You know, like I get paid by several different ones, and I'm not afraid to tell you that I'm going to recommend things to you. Then people are going to pay me for that because they're going to go in there and, you know, I just got set up with Google Cloud, and what they're going to do is for everybody I send over to go create a free account, you get $300 in credit with a free account. They don't charge you a dime. And if you keep it after 3 months and you spend $10 a month, whatever you have your account set up as, you spend a few dollars a month with them, that first month you pay, they're going to give me $100 in hosting credit. So, I mean, those things like that, you know. If you've already signed up with Cloud, it doesn't really matter. I'm not set up yet. I'll put in all my stuff, and I'm waiting for them to give me my links there. But you know, different things. You know, it's not like some scammy thing. These are legit programs like Google. Google's legit. You know, Surfer and Jarvis and all that. They're legit companies. So these are the tools that I use. Grammarly, I use that. They pay me. You know, several of these, Canva pays me, all these different ones, they pay me a certain amount whenever y'all sign up. So I just, according to the SEC, Security Exchange Commission, I have to say that. I have to let you know that, yeah, these people do pay. So we're going to look through here. Let's continue on. Enough of the boring money talk stuff. But in the end, unless you've got something you just need to tell the world, that's probably the only reason you're making a website is to increase your money. So it kind of goes along with it. All right, August 3rd, 2021. We go by that here in Texas. 1 p.m. That looks good to me. Week starts on, well, Saturday is the last day. That's a Sabbath. So to me, the week starts on Sunday. I start my Sunday going to church and follow out my week, and Saturday I try not to work. I try to take a break. So that's kind of irrelevant for that, but to me that's when the week starts on. So we got that saved. So we can go in here and let's see if our stuff is done over here yet. Yep, it's all finished. So let's go to fishing. Let's see. Welcome to Content Planner. This brand new feature will streamline your content strategy by creating topic clusters related to your head keyword. For a time being, we make this premium feature available to everyone so you can test its superpowers by yourself. Great. That's fantastic. I love this. I love this feature, the Content Planner. All right, so it's going to go through clusters. Let me explain this. What these clusters are is they're like recommended pages, if you will. It's if you're trying to think of what all pages to create for your website, these are the clusters. So you'd want these to be on different pages. So it doesn't mean each one of these are needed for fishing. And we could sort by most relevant, search volume, high to low, low to high. Like, all right, so like the first thing it says here, ice fishing. So search volume 19.3 thousand. Let's go high to low. 589,000 for fish. Anglers fish, 229,000. Kayak fishing, 183,000. Fly fishing, 146,000. So big fish lake, fish finders, fly fishing, bass fishing. So, but we're not going to go by the volume. We're going to go by relevance because we want to know what's going to be relevant to Google. Now, I'm not starting out with ice fishing on the site. I'll probably create a page for that. I probably will, but I'm in Texas. I don't really know anything about ice fishing. So I don't really know how to do that, but I could write about it. I could Google fact check what I get off there. And most of the stuff's pretty accurate I get off Surfer. So fishing license, Minnesota, that's not really for me. Fishing line, there we go. Free fishing, New York. Fly fishing, deep sea fishing gear. Learning to fish. So learning to fish might be a great one. Handicap fishing near me, that might be a good one. But that will take a lot of research to look around and find the places. Can you rent fishing rods? Hardlers. And see, some of these don't have very much, like, can you rent fishing rods? It's only got 80 search volume. So you're like, that's not going to bring me very much. Well, no, it's not. But the thing is, that's what do you call a long tail keyword? So fishing rods is your keyword here. Fishing is your keyword, fishing rods. Long tail, can you rent fishing rods? It's very specific, very long. So long tail keyword. Fishing rod name, I don't even know. There's 340 people search fishing rod name. So that's funny. So do you need a saltwater fishing license, fishing reels, learn to fish near me, fish Wisconsin. Let's see, fish. Let me see. I'm not going to bore you with my talk. I need to make a decision on fish eating. It's interesting what all it finds, because what it's doing is it's searching Google for fishing, and it's finding the top 10 results and getting all they're not stripping down their content, but it's reading through all their content, and it's running it through an AI algorithm and getting the gist of it. So you still have to work. You still have to go through and think about it, and then you got to build it. You got to build the content. So I'm just figuring out what I want for the some of my pages. What are lures? Surf fishing. So you know what? I just want see if there's one with fishing tips. That's funny. I would think something like fishing tips or something would be. All right, so let's go ahead and change this to Search volume, how to low. Let's see what we got here, and let's just run with something. So let's see. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to keep this here because this is going to be in my content planner. So to start out the site, so I'm not seeing anything that I think is just like boom, that would be great for the homepage. I don't want to build out the homepage, but I might just go over to Jarvis and write it. I don't know, but let me do this. Let me show you something else. Let's do so content editor. Let's put in fishing tips. Let's let it search Google just for fishing tips. I want to turn NLP on. We still have 43 out of 50 remaining NLP credits. So fishing tips. We want it mobile. So I want to know what all mobile results. It's important because mobile is mobile first is everything. It has to be mobile first. I don't know if it matters a whole lot on this, but I think it doesn't help, or it doesn't hurt. It doesn't help. It may not help either. So we got NLP turn on. That's natural language processing. That allows it to read the sites and give me some information. And you'll see what that information is all about. So create content. Well, that's doing that. I hope you're seeing the power of this thing. I hope so. So let's go back over here. General, we've already saved that. Permalinks. Let's go over there. Right now it's day and name. I don't really care for that. That's too much right there. I'm gonna go with post name. So I might put in for post name, I might put in category. So I just click to the left of post name here. I do a custom. I can select category. That way our URLs are going to be, it's going to be perfectfishingtips.com/saltwater fishing/saltwater fishing lures or fishing lures or whatever. It's going to be like that. So I go back and forth if I want to have category in there or not, but I'm going with that for right now. Category base and tag base. If we want to change that, I'm not gonna mess with that. Save changes. All right. So let's go over to, let's see what theme we have. So we're over in the dashboard. It's all going to be the same over in the dashboard. Let's go over to appearance, themes. So we're using 2020. All right, let's go to add new. Astra. I've been liking Astra lately. Astra's really been, fast. It's been good and just clean and basic. So it seems like a good base for pretty much any website. I mean, you can go all crazy. You can go over here and click add new. You can search. We could just do this, fishing. Oh, there's actually not any fish. Let's see. Yeah, so fish, pet care. Well, they're kind of, I guess it's related. So the pets. Anyway, let's do candles. So we get fancy commerce store. So I don't know. Sometimes you can find what you're doing, what you're looking for. Real estate, and somebody's already built a something for it. Here's a bunch of real estate stuff for real estate agencies, stuff like that. It just makes it one click easy to change the look of your whole website. I'm going over here. If I wanted to, I could go preview this. That shows what the site would look like. Is that it's not as flashy as it looked a while ago. You got to go set up all these different things like the pictures and such, but I'm just messing around showing you this while I wait on that. So let's just go on back. Let's make sure we got our Astra theme set up. Themes. I know we installed it. Let's refresh. Astra, that's active. All right, so we're all good. Now if we go to visit our site, it shows the Astra theme on there. Yep, there it is. Just really just clean, empty. Perfect. So powered by Astra WordPress theme. I want to get rid of that, but I'll go do that here in a few. I'll do that in the I go on the dashboard. Shoot, I guess I already started talking. So let me show you real quick. Parents, you know what? That's going to be another video. I don't need to get sidetracked. I'm going to stay focused on this, and that's an important thing. It's an important thing with everything, with any SEO stuff. Stay on focus, stay on track. Fishing tips. There's the one we did on that. Article outline available in brief. Okay, continue. I already know about that. Fishing tips, perfectly optimized content goes here. Let's take that out. Now let's go over here. Now it says we have 2 words because that is all we have over here. See? Now it goes in there and changes. Of course, that's not SEO content. So this is the average for fishing tips. A web page, one page, is on the top 10 results of Google, have 3,000 to 3,453 words. So really, we should try to get in that range. Really, if we can get 100 over that top end, it would be even better. But if we only get in there and we get like 1,000 words, 1,500, 2,000 words, just to get it started, to get it primed, we can get some feedback from Google of what it likes out of that and write more content based on it. But you really want to launch your website, and you'll see how fast and easy it is with a lot of content. Headings, they want 30 to 75 headings. Paragraphs, at least 90. Images, 16 to 57. So here's all this right here of all the keywords. Headings. So fishing tips, bass fishing, saltwater fishing, catfish, catching fish. So those are all headings that it wants to have in there. So let's see what all happens here. Let's go to brief. This is the magic right here. Let's go to brief. Now let me tell you, everything in here is all going to be original. And here's what it sees as your competitors for fishing tips. On the water, top 10 fishing tips, Take Me Fishing, Pelican Alaska Fishing.com, Fishing Pioneer Fishing Tips, OnTrackFishing.com. These guys figured out some things. So those 5 websites are, I guess, the top 5 results on Google. So that's what it's going through, and it's looking, what are these guys doing to make Google think that fishing tips belongs to them? And so it's going to help us figure that out and write content based on it. So while that's loading over there, you see, I try to do everything all in real time. I try to let you be exposed to what all's happening. So let's see, and you see connected one person currently editing this document, synced 2 minutes ago. So you can have other people that you work with that can all be on here building it at the same time. Y'all can be working together. But what I'll do is I'll build this out. You'll see in a minute, and then I'll fill it out over through Grammarly. I'll check it all out, clean it all up and everything. Check plagiarism. So important. Just check plagiarism. You do not want anything plagiarized. Now, the content it creates, typically I get anywhere from 1% to 6-7%, if that. It's rare. So you just want to make sure if it's plagiarized, you don't want it. You want to modify it. You want to unplagiarize it and make it your own. So there's only so many ways to skin a cat. You know, there's only so many ways to give fishing tips. And those fishing tips are going to be, the same thing everybody's been told. Well, not everybody. I don't think I've ever had a random conversation. Well, yeah, I have, but I'm a Texan, where somebody's giving fishing tips. It happens a lot, actually, in Texas. But I think people in Dallas may not randomly start talking about fishing tips. All right, that's still loading. We're all done over here. Let's see. Let's go ahead and make a decision. Let's do pages, because we can do pages or posts. Start out with our content pages. Let's do a add new. Welcome to the blocks editor. I'm just going to exit out of this because it really is just this easy. We just clicked add new. Do you want me to go back? I don't know. I can't hear you. So you can rewind it, but you saw what I did. All I did is pages, add page. So title, perfect fishing tips. Let's just name it perfect fishing tips for now. So we're still waiting on our outline builder. That's going to give us our outline for everything. So I wait on that. We're going to, you know what? I'll just pause it so you don't have to sit here and watch it wait. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so it finished loading. So I paused it and it was like 30 seconds later it was done. So I should have paused it sooner. But here's outline builder. So here we go. So H1, let's see what we have. Now this is under the brief. After we've done the content editor, we'll put in fishing tips. Give us our guidelines, remember. We're here to brief. Outline builder, let's do H1 first. Fishing tips for beginners. Top 40 tips and tricks. Top fishing tips for beginners, top 38. 10 fishing tips and tricks. Bass fishing tips. Fishing tips for beginners. So let's scroll up. Let's make a decision what our H1 is going to be. We only want one H1. So should we do top 40? Yeah. Tips and tricks. I like that in there. Again, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter all this right here. 40 years in the fishing sport. Yeah. See, I can change all that. I can delete all that and do it myself. Take it over to Jarvis and do it. And I'll tell you about Jarvis later. It's very important in all this. You'll see. It's kind of a 1, 2, 3 punch on these things. So you know what? Title's not gonna be fishing tips. It's gonna be this right here. Oh. That wasn't supposed to come out that big, so let's undo that. Well, I didn't want to undo. Let's just take all that out and boom. All right, it pasted in properly now. So we're in fishing sport. No, you know what? I can't say I've got. I don't know. I've been fishing since I was a kid. I'm 44, so I could probably say that, but I wouldn't really say that. But again, I'm going to go clean all that up later. I might leave it there for just a little bit. So let's see. We're not going to go into reading each of the things all the way right now. That's going to be for later because that's going to be boring for you. But basically, this is original content. It came up with this on its own based on those things. You can see if we go and we copy this. Let me show you. Let's go test it. Let's see how much plagiarism is in that. All right. That was my title to this video. I was making sure everything looked good on there. Paste, audience. We'll do a general audience. We don't want it to be knowledgeable audience. We want the basic people to be able to understand this. Formality, neutral. Yeah, that's fine. Domain general. Tone. We'll just leave all that as intent is to inform, convince, describe. That's all up to you based on what you're doing, based on what you're creating. So I'm gonna reset to defaults and just leave it all at defaults for right now. But that's just something you can do with Grammarly. We're just over here for just to check plagiarism. I'm getting distracted again. You can't tell, I do have ADD. I kind of jump around, but I've got a lot of stuff to share with you. Looks like your text is 100% original. So this is all original. Look at that. This has never been written before. This is the power of AI. It just wrote all this, and it's never been written on the internet before. It didn't copy anything. It didn't scrape anything. Not one sentence. Nothing. Overall scores is 63. So characters 598, words 108. Reading time, speaking time, all this. You can see all the details. Unique words. It's above average, below average on rare words. So we can set that to however much we want. We can work on trying to make the words better and such. So let's close that. But the point is, it's not plagiarized. In case you were wanting to see that. All right. So after we've got that, we've got a good H1. That's a solid H1, I believe, to start out our website. So fishing tips for beginners. So H2, let's see what all we have in H2. Environmental awareness and etiquette. That doesn't really sound like something for this. Take time to master the basics. That's probably a good thing to pop in there. Take time to master the basics. Natural versus artificial bait, casting. So natural versus artificial. Let's go ahead and put that in. Casting. The sooner we cast correctly, spindling reels and bait casters, the faster we can catch more good fish. Casting using spinning reels is simple. The snag and a bite is difficult to differentiate between beginners and experienced anglers. Or not to push yourself when cranking, and that can lead to the bait being moved to another target zone. In the event of catching the bait, blah, blah. You aren't really wanting to hear about fishing. You're wanting to learn about fishing for Google. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that in there because I think that's a good tips on that. How weather impacts. So understand how the weather impacts bass. That stuff happens in this as it's going through reading things. I don't know why. It's just it's a thing with early AI. It does weird stuff sometimes, but like you saw, it was original. So how weather impacts bass. That could be a good one. Again, we can remove any of this stuff we want. We can take any of it out. So let's go ahead and let's fix that real quick. Oh yeah, image loading we don't really need. Yeah, but that'd be a good place on our website for a picture of a bass. And you want original pictures. You really want original. Versatile. Be a versatile angler. Yeah, be versatile. And I don't need to know about the image loading lazy. When it can be your friend when fishing for bass. That seems like some bass fishing stuff. Like I think I should. But you know what? If I put that on here, yeah, that'll I'm trying to think that might be good, but if I just have one, then one thing about bass, it'll give me a thing for Google to hit about bass, and then I can expand and create a page about bass if Google's liking, and I put a link from there to the page I create about bass. Body of water, that just doesn't really make sense on that title. Do your research. Well, that's what they're on the website to do. So, but this research is something else, but it's talking about there. Okay, I see. I see what they're talking about there. So I'm going to go up over here before that one post about bass, that one paragraph about bass. Let's put this in there. Let's just take that out. Do your research. I'm a knot tying pro. Oh, that did that weird thing again. Let's just manually go up over here and so it took out the do your research. Let's put that back in. We're going to highlight it because we're going to go up over here to normal. We're at heading 2. All right, so back over here, let's enter down and let's put this in again. All right, let's go over here to guidelines and look and see where we're at. So now we're at a score of 32. So we're getting there. What this is doing is checking how many words we have. It's checking how many of those keywords we have in there. It's checking the headings, all that stuff. So we really want to get it over here into the green. That's the goal. And that happens by adding more content. But again, it needs to be good content. We're going to go in and clean all this all up. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do, but right now we're going to just continue on. All right. Knots, we already got become a knot tying pro. Find cover. It's a lot of bass fishing stuff on here. Match the hatch. Know the legal limits. Oh, that's a good one to have. Let's put that up over here. Near shore and offshore tips. Beginner fishing tips. That's more of an H1, I would think. General tips. So let's go over to H3 and see what we got. That's probably where the best little pieces we're going to find. Change tactics, saltwater fishing. Saltwater versus freshwater. There's a lot of good ones on here. So after casting, before do your research, let's go to saltwater fishing. Said that saltwater versus freshwater. Be careful with jetty pound. Yeah. Me and a buddy of mine decided we're going to go to South Padre, which I'm going again, South Padre, here in another 10 days or so. We're going to go on vacation out there, but when I was a kid, when I was a teenager, maybe 20, 21, I don't know. We went out to South Padre, me and my buddy, we decided we were going to go and snorkeling. And we went way out on the jetty and decided we were just going to jump on in out there and do it. We rented the snorkeling gear and we go out there and we discovered barnacles. Yeah, we had to get rescued. Some jet skis came in and took care of us. So yeah, I know a little bit about that. Freshwater gear, fishing tips. That's good stuff right there. Boat fishing tips and tricks. Study the environment. Make considered purchases. So true. You can definitely blow some money on fishing. Summary. Let's go down to the bottom and put in a summary. Learn how to become yeah. I don't even know what that's all about. Don't rush. Oh boy, yeah, that's good. So again, like I said, you can scroll through here and be like, where would that fit better? Right up over here. Don't rush. You know, and I may read something over here and be like, you know what, that's actually good content. So, but it's better than something else I already have on there. So let's see. I'm not seeing that immediately right now. Head to the tackle shop. That goes with before make considered purchases. I think head to the tackle shop. And then you're going to tip people on make considered purchases. You're going to really want to think about what you're buying. Fish ladder. Be cautious with reviews. Yeah. Yeah, that's good on make considered purchases. Because like I told you, what the internet runs on, it runs on money. People will write content that revolves around money too. So some aren't quite as kind about it, you know, and they will advise you to buy something that you really don't need. So I only advise people to buy stuff that I actually use. It's what I use in my day-to-day operations and things. We're a PFD. Yeah, that would go good in there, but it would go better down lower in the page. It would go better right over here. Cast a lure with weedless hooks. That would probably be good right up over here up for the bass. Go local. Yeah, that's about eating fish. Don't go it alone. So that's hard for me because, you know, I do understand people want to go fishing by themselves. So, but you know what? It's more of a cautious. We're going to try to protect people. We're a PFD, a personal flotation device. Let's go. Don't go it alone. Some of them may need to reword the headings. Rig it right. Let's go up over here with knots. Rig it right. Clean up. Yeah, let's do that down here underneath the don't go it alone. Clean up. You don't want to leave a mess. Be aware of the law. That goes. So you don't want to just throw them in there anywhere. You want to go in there and think about it. Where was the limits? I might have already passed it. So no, I put it in here. I thought I did. Know the legal limits. There we go. After that, be aware of the law. So I actually go before this. Some of y'all are probably like, no, I should go after. Well, that's fine. You can go create yours and put it after. And I promise you this, you go do this on Surfer, it's not going to show you the same thing because it's already been used, and that's the way artificial intelligence works. It's not going to spit out the same stuff. And I guess in a sense, it's like lightning doesn't strike twice in the same place. You know, there's no physics law saying it can't, but it might. But not very likely. You're not very likely to see the same content that somebody else is going to see in their brief. So safety first. It was about hydrating and all that, sunscreen. So what do we have down here? Where PFD. So let's put that. I think that would go above safety first. Let's see. Use the right bait. Let's see if we have anything else about bait. Natural versus artificial bait. So we're going to use the right bait up underneath that. Fish where there's cover. Yeah, do we have anything about that? So we want to organize it all together in top 40 tips and tricks. So it, you know, we could always put best. I can't type. Best tips and tricks. I don't know, unless I want to count it and make sure it's 40 and then go at it like that. So, prepared. We've already done a freshwater versus saltwater, but this one might sound better. So, go over here and saltwater versus freshwater. So we can compare the two, and if we want to change it, we can delete that and put this in there. So I'm not going to mess with that right now. Again, I'm not trying to make this take forever. I'm just trying to show you how this works. So let's stop there and let's look. Let's check out our H4s. Natural bait. So we have something about natural versus artificial bait. Use the right bait. You know what? Before natural bait, put artificial bait or natural bait. Right before, right after the natural versus artificial, and put a deal about natural bait. Maybe go to 30. Had one for artificial, but yeah, artificial lures. So there. Now we've gone in more in depth, natural versus artificial. And now we've got one specified for that. And so there's like you saw, there's a whole bunch in there. But let's see what we're doing so far. We're at a 55 out of 100. So we are doing mighty good. We got 2,493 words, 29 paragraphs. We should have at least 90, so we need more paragraphs. Headings 28, we should have 30 to 75. We need more of those, and obviously we need more images. Where it's headings, it recommends bass fishing, catch fish, catching fish. So that's what we have in there, and we can go and clean all that up and expand it. Let's have a little fun and see how much we got plagiarized now. I'm sure we're probably at 5-6%, but could be a 0, could be at 10. I guarantee it's not 100. It's not gonna have much plagiarism. We're gonna have to wait. It's saying it's 100% original. I'm pretty sure that's not right yet. It takes a minute. It has to analyze it. You can see the little wheel spinning around there. It's thinking. It's reading everything on the internet, everything that I wrote here. It's checking it. Trying to figure out what all's been copied. So if this can catch it, you know Google will catch it, and if Google catches it, then they just think you're copying websites. So we just need it to run through. It might even list a website in the content. It might even have a domain in there. It might have a person's name in there sometimes. You got to watch for that. But it doesn't mean it's stolen content from them. It doesn't mean that. It, for some reason, it imported a name, or it imported a little bit of HTML code or something trivial, but it's not their content. So it's still running the plagiarism check. So, and of course, the English in this can definitely be choppy. Our overall score is at 52. We're going to show you some quick things with Grammarly to clean it all up. It doesn't take me too long. I can, if I know a little bit about the content, if I know enough about the content, I can sit down and probably in about an hour go in and create a 2,000 word page about some content and go in there, edit it up enough that I'd be willing to put it on my website for Google. So within 2 or 3 hours of really working on it, fact checking it, make sure everything's true and right, and I don't want to be spreading misinformation. I don't want somebody to go get a big shark fishing reel and go fishing for a perch, because they read it on Pro Fishing Tips or something, something like that. So, or perfect fishing tips. I don't even know about my domain that I'm working on right now. perfectfishingtips.com. And I just want it to be true. And Google knows if it's true. What Google AI does is it reads other websites, so it knows when things are odd, they're off. You're saying something, but pretty much everybody else disagrees with you. Google's probably going to assume that you're wrong. So you could be right. There could be 100 websites with misinformation, but you're the only one with real information. Well, unfortunately, Google is not going to see that unless you have a lot of authority. If you're, a university and it's something like you made a claim that something got discovered, that something's different than what was thought, But and I don't think any of y'all are running a university research lab and are going to correct Google on what it thinks is correct. So sometimes this plagiarism check takes a little while. We'll let that keep running. I'm going to go over here and show you a little bit more, but you see how I'm reverse engineering these search results. And it's going in here and it's trying to figure out, it's like, all right, all these top websites, they contain these things this many times. So fishing tips should be on the page 10 to 31 times, should be used in there. So you see where it's highlighting where it's been used. Saltwater fishing has been used twice. It should be 3 to 7. Catch fish, 0 should be 1 to 2. Catching fish, 0 should be 2 to 7. So these top ones, you really want to make sure you've got those keywords in there. And some of them aren't really what you would think when you think fishing tips, but it's supportive content is basically what it is. So I guess it could be in there and that kind of stuff, but like safe zones, I don't know what that means. Pay attention. Google likes seeing these kind of things, that are in here whenever we're doing this. So it's basically just supportive keywords. And then there's things called long tail keywords that I talked about. And that's where you can go to keyword research and stuff and find different things like that. So far our plagiarism check is still going. So while that goes through, let me show you something else over here, Surfer. So we're going to go back to the Surfer homepage, keyword research. Our keywords. So fishing tips. Let's run a keyword research on fishing tips and see what all it tells us about fishing tips. So fishing tips, there's 2,900 search volume. So having same term. So we clicked on over here, having same term as fishing tips. And then we see bass fishing tips, fishing for bass tips, fishing tips for bass. Bass is a big thing in fishing. People like to really research that one. Tips for fishing, fishing tips, tips for fishing, crappie fishing tips, tips for trout fishing. You see in all these is like there's some long tail keywords in here, some longer keywords that doesn't have very much search volume. But if you build on these, you'll get the Google will see that you're writing content doesn't have a ton of search volume, but you're filling a need. So that's where using these, and then you go in there and build more content based on that. And Google will appreciate it and reward you for it. Next thing you know, you're ranking on fishing alone, to where you're just fishing, just word fishing, different things like that, because you've worked so hard at all the things around it. But you really want to build that content. Let's see. All right, so we have 2% plagiarism. All right, dream body workout. We copied dream body workout. So you see, it had nothing to do with fishing there. So if you're a beginner, don't use the. Wow, we stole a lot, didn't we? Fishing tips for beginners. One thing to keep in mind is that, and that's from a fishing tips website. So put that right there. One thing you should all right, that fixed that. Study the biology of a river first and then modify your fishing technique. So or before. Oh, that doesn't even make any sense. Study the biology of a river before, and then modify your fishing technique. I don't remember what was there. What did I do on that? I don't know. I'm just gonna. Let's see. The river, lake, or ocean that you are going to fish, and then modify your fishing technique to fish. Anyway, so all right. So let's see what we got. This is still, if you are just starting out, use the things that are scared of you. Okay, that doesn't even. I would just take that sentence out. Again, this is ours. There's no rules. There's no rules. We're creating internet content. When you go read a website, next time you read a website, just think about somebody sat down and was doing this. And before this year, somebody was actually hard work, painstakingly hand typing this stuff. Just their own thoughts on doing this and their own research. I kind of feel bad. I feel very bad for those people. We have been those people. I remember we used to have a website for people to take practice tests, and my wife went through and wrote, I don't remember, I want to say it's close to 10,000 practice questions for that website, one by one, reading a book, just coming up with practice test questions. And we made a good living with it for a little while. Then we sold it, and we definitely should not have sold it. And so it wasn't near enough for what it was. Anyway, so you see where it'll tell us, though. It'll tell us where the plagiarism is. There's very little. That's all the plagiarism, by the way. That's all that we had. Our overall score is 52. We got 2,400 words. Let's close it over there. Let's go to back to all suggestions. Accept 60 suggestions at once. Because I haven't even proofed this thing at all yet, I'm just going to go ahead and accept all 60 because that's probably going to save me a lot of headache. Let's see, our score was, what, a 50 or 60 something? Let's see what score changes to just by doing this. So it's going through on the right. It's going through each of these things. So now our score is a 72. You made 60 corrections. Looks good. And it tells us what all it did. So we can go through and we can go through here and clean all that up. There's 192 more suggestions on grammar. But I'm just gonna show you all how I'm gonna publish this. So I'm gonna go and I'm gonna select all this. I probably could have right-clicked selected all. Oh, going too far. All right, right-click copy. Go over here. Let's go to our website for fishing tips. Let's paste this. So let's scroll through. Now this is our H1 right here. So let's see. What I need to do is I need to make sure everything else is all H2. See on WordPress, this is H2. Over here, H2. And you see all it is, I just came over here, I right-click pasted all that stuff that we had over in Grammarly that we had over in Surfer. That's pasted in. Now, there's arguments that H3s are no longer relevant for Google, that you're better, and that's an H4, that you're better to do all H2s. And I haven't really researched that much, but what I'm going to do is just show you all how to do it. I'm going to go over here, click on page over here on the right. I click page, permalink, perfect fishing tips. So we're going to take out perfect for the URL slug, fishing tips. That's going to be the name of that page. I could have perfect in there. I don't know. See if I have perfect fishing tips. So when somebody searches fishing tips, they're going to find us. Somebody searches perfect fishing. Yeah, I can see how that could be beneficial. So that means URL is going to be perfectfishingtips.com/perfectfishingtips. Kind of redundant, but it is what the website is called. It is what the website is. So if we want to modify anything through there, we can. I'm not going to get into all that with y'all right now and show y'all any of that, but later I will. I just want to show you how to publish. So we're going to publish. Let's publish. All right, view page. Perfect fishing tips. Fishing tips for beginners. Best tips and tricks. There we go. Now that we did that, I've walked you through all that. Now you're going to want to go in there, of course, and go clean yours up. Take out the 40 years in fishing. You're not copying me. You're not doing the same thing. That would just be silly. But for me, I need to go clean up a lot of things. I need to spend a good hour or so just reading over and cleaning it all up. But that's how you add the page. Now we want to make sure that's our home page. All right, so we want to go to appearance. So all we are is we're at the dashboard, okay, in WordPress. And we're going to go over to appearance. There it is. We're going to go to customize. And when we go to customize, we're going to go to homepage settings. So it is went to customize. Now, homepage settings, a static page. See, if it's just a blog site, you can do your latest post, and I'll just have that. We're going to do a static page. So the home page is going to be perfect fishing tips. All right. And if we want a blog, we'll go in there and we'll add a new page for blog posts, you know, like fishing tips, something, blog or something like that. But there's that. Let's go to publish. That's published. So close out of that. Let's go to visit site. So now the homepage, perfectfishingtips.com, is right here. And here's our information. So that's where now we can go back to back over to this. Now it's going to keep all this in here for us. So we can leave this, go back into content editor, fishing tips. You're going to see all of our content is still there. So we can go in there and mess with all that. Let's go back into our content planner that we created before. And fishing, let's click on that. And let's pick something out. Let's go from most relevant to search volume and find something with a high search volume. So kayak fishing is a really big deal. It's like, let's see what else. Fish finders. Fish finders is a money keyword. You can go in there, write about fish finders and do reviews on them and such if you know enough about them. And, you know, if you know ones that are really good that you've used, then you could write about it and tell people and give them a link to go buy one on Amazon. And you'll make, you know, a few percent every time they do. So maybe let's do bass fishing. I keep seeing so much about bass fishing. So we're going to click this right over here. Remember, we're on the content planner on fishing. It's informational, bass fishing, and here's all the different things there. And we can also open this, and if we want to take any of this out, fishing tips for bass, you know, we could just have that keyword in there. Types of bass fishing, professional bass fishing, catch a bass, bass anglers. So bass fishing meaning, I don't know about that. And we turn on NLP for all this too, which we're going to do. That's natural language processing. So let's see. Let's create a content editor on that. So including 10, 11, 12. There we go. Content editor is almost ready. And we can decide, you know, do we also want a page for freshwater fishing, a page for saltwater fishing, you know, a page for shark fishing, you know, the bass fishing. Is the bass fishing going to be a main page on the main menu, or is it going to be underneath freshwater fishing? You know, those are the kind of decisions we have to make. So that's our site structure, and we just decide what all we want to use. So open content editor. Now that's done. That's our bass fishing page. It's giving us information to build upon that. You see how in one day you could create a full website full of content, 10,000 words, maybe 10,000 words, depending on how much time you really want to put into it, and go in there and have that. Now there is more to it. This gets you started, but then you want to do your SEO and you want to do all the different things like that. If you're doing like I'm doing fishing, so I may want to go to you know, different websites like Queer and Reddit, that kind of stuff, that where you answer people, you can help people, and I'll go help people in certain things related to fishing and point them to an article that I have on the website. So, or point them to the homepage, point them to something that isn't spammy because I'm delivering some good content with it, but I'm delivering it. So that way Google sees it and is like, oh, this website is actually going around the internet helping people with fishing. So, and you may be you know, if you're a spark plug changer, you know, you created a website about spark plugs and all that, and you go online and you go help people understand spark plugs. Eventually you're going to be known as spark plugs to Google, and Google's going to show your site when the people search for spark plugs. I don't think spark plugs is actually I don't know, it might be a good niche, but I don't think there's experts on it like that. You know, it's a piece of something. So it'd be a piece of like a mechanic website, mechanic information. You'd have a section for spark plugs, but I digress on that. You ever get the picture? But this is how it works. You want to get it with content, and what you really want to is you want the top part to grab their attention. The top of any page that people are coming into, that's your landing page. If people are coming into your home page, perfectfishingtips.com, you want to sell them to keep reading right here. You want something that's going to grab their attention and say, you know what, I am at the right place, to where they will keep reading, and hopefully they will keep reading, and then they'll find a link and they'll click on something and they'll read more on your website. That's your goal. That tells Google that you're doing good. And as long as your site is fast, as long as people are staying on your site, they're doing things on there, then you're doing good. So let me show you something else too. Let's go over to Lightspeed Cache. I haven't even walked y'all through this yet. We're going to do some optimizations to speed things up, but let's go see how the site speed is after adding a couple thousand words of content, and I'll show you how that usually doesn't really affect much of anything at all. It's when you add other cool functionality. So that's whenever you add all that extra features to your site, that all of a sudden your site starts slowing way down. It's the content. Now the pictures will, but there's certain ways to do the pictures to where it doesn't take too long, doesn't slow it down much. Now this is just adding a couple thousand words of text. Let's see what we have on our page speed. We were running in the 90s. I can't remember exactly where after adding analytics, but it was, so we're 99. See, we had no problems at all. Perfect fishing tips. Here's what it looks like. So again, you want to go mobile first. You want to look at this on your mobile phone, on your cell phone, your iPhone, your Android, and make sure your website looks good. So we're doing good on here. We'll mobile first, focused. So all-in-one SEO. Now that we've written that content, you know what? Let's go ahead and activate this. Let's get started. All right. I'm just going to leave it at default there. I'm just going to leave all that alone for right now. So I'm just going to leave all that. I don't have a logo or anything yet, so I'm not messing with any of that. I don't have any social media set up for it yet, so I'm not putting any of that in. Save and continue. We want sitemaps, optimize search appearance, analytics. I don't think I want that, but I'm just going to leave it in there default. Image SEO, that's for the pro account. I'm not using a pro account because I don't need it on this. I haven't seen a need. Let me rephrase that. I haven't seen a need yet for that. So I'm just putting all the stuff that over here. We can go in there and edit that if we want. So we could do under construction or live site. This is a site under construction or live. So I'm gonna do live because Google already thinks it's live. So that's why it's kind of a rush to hurry to get content in there. Include all post types. Enable sitemap. Yes. Yeah, multiple authors. No, not right now. Redirect attachment pages. I'm just gonna leave that default. Save and continue. Fishingtips.com at gmail.com. No, I'm not going to do that. Save and continue. No license needed because we're using the light version. So skip this step. All right, now they want us to upgrade to Pro. You're probably wondering how much that is. I'll show you. I don't use it. I don't use a Pro account, so. But if you're curious of the price, they don't pay me anything. I'm sure they have an affiliate program where I could sign up and get paid. But see, they want, it's, if you're doing a lot, it's probably worth it. $299 a year for 100 websites. Don't let this fool you. It's not. It's every time I go here forever, it's always, oh, there's 2 hours left of our sale. And they just keep trying to get you. But in case you're wondering about the price, that's what the price is. I'm going to set up and go to the dashboard. So that's all there was to getting that all set up. So now when you go back to pages, after you got that all set up, you go to all pages. Let's go back to our home page, Perfect Fishing Tips. And now when on page, if you remember what we saw before, now you scroll down. Well, it's not over there. It's down below on this. So yeah, when you scroll down, so you can go in there and modify what people are going to see on Google whenever they search. If Google accepts it, then so description, get the best fishing. Let me just remove this right over here because it's getting on my nerves saying that we're 1,400 words. Let's do let's change this to page title. Now we're at 42 out of 160 max recommended characters. Get the best fishing tips and tricks for freshwater and salt water fishing. Best bait, rods, and more to help you catch a big one. So went over a few characters. So let me just let me do an ampersand instead of an and right there. Ampersand, same. Well, we already, yeah, but I want to stay with the. It looks like so. There we go. Focus key phrase fishing tips. So that tells it, so it knows that, hey, you're doing this good on it. So fishing tips 80 out of 100. That's not a bad focus key phrase and URL. So I don't really see where that's, no, because it's not in 2 words. There's not a dash in there. So we're good there. Focus key phrase and subheadings. So there's some different things that we can do. Internal links, external links. All right, we're going to leave all that there and just have that change and have that done. Let's update view page. All right. Well, that's it for this page. I'm going to come back later once I've created some more pages and some more stuff on this, and I'm going to show you how to link all the pages together in a way that Google appreciates. So, but I do want to see after we added that SEO to it. Do y'all remember the page speed? Let's see, we were at 99 on mobile, 92 on desktop. So after we added that, the WordPress, the AI, the SEO, once we added that SEO on there, let's see if it slowed it down. Look at that. Ooh, we took a hit. The desktop's fine, but mobile took a hit. Let's analyze it one more time. Make sure it's not a fluke thing. I bet I know what it is. I bet it's the analytics that it put in, not Google Analytics. Google Analytics never does that to me. But that SEO thing that we put in there a while ago, it had a thing for its own analytics. I bet that's doing some things to slow it down. Yep, 84. Let's look down here. Quest counts. Yeah, let's go back into our website and look at this before I finish this video. Let's go to dashboard. Let's go to all-in-one SEO that just slowed us down a little bit. Let's go to general settings. What we're looking for is their analytics that they put in there. Let's see. It's in the dashboard. All right, so I'll just need to dig around and figure out where this is at and figure out what's slowing it down on there, because to me that's not acceptable to slow it down that much for something of just like adding an XML sitemap, that kind of stuff. That shouldn't. It's something to do with the analytics or something. So I don't want to get caught up boring y'all. And again, 84 is not a bad score. It's not a horrible score, but it's just, I hated going from almost 100 to that. So that's bothersome to me. Well, our site score is very good. It says excellent. So we should strive for 70 or above. It's, again, I stopped early and I've only got that one page. So here's some other things that we should change. But it's this, what is this? Insights, Monster Insights. I don't want Monster Insights. So let me go to plugin, install plugins. Am I making these too long? Am I getting too far out of Google Analytics? Yeah, that's, I think that got activated. Oh, I need the plugin. Am I making these too long? Am I getting out of topic? Should I make them a lot more short and sweet, or what do y'all think? If y'all can give me some feedback, man, that would be fantastic. That would help me tremendously. So, because I don't know if I'm getting too far off topic or if y'all are watching how I go through my processes of doing this stuff. I hope to help. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to bore you to death. I'm not trying to make you watch a whole bunch of boring stuff, but I'm trying to show you how it's really not that hard to do this stuff. And you can get aggravated doing it sometimes. There are some things that will aggravate you about it. But any of these you're not using, like Hello Dolly, I don't even know what that is. It's just something that default installs of WordPress. I think it's a joke. So, but you can go in and activate. If you want to keep it deactivated, you go and delete it. I'll go through everything later. I'm going to try to. So I just need to figure out if if I'm going too long on these. So hopefully you guys will get back to me and let me know. But anyway, you saw, you came, you saw, this is what we do. This is how it's done. Now, of course, this isn't the end result of what the page is going to look like. It's going to have several different pages on it. It's going to be good. This is just a start. This is just something to give something to Google. And really, I need to get in there and add, 5,000-10,000 words on the page, add a few pages to it, something to show Google I'm serious so that they continue ranking this site and it doesn't fall off. If the site quality goes away, then your site will disappear from Google. You can resubmit it. They'll bring it back. But if you were on the bordering on the teeter-tottering on the quality of your page being good enough for Google, then it'll come back, but then it'll just fall right off if you didn't do anything to fix it. So, all right, guys, I'm hoping this is helping y'all. It's fun just to talk about this stuff for a little bit and hopefully help y'all out. So we'll see y'all next time. Be sure to like and subscribe, follow, do all that. Get notified on YouTube anytime I make a video, so you can keep up with what's going on and see it almost live. So I may do live videos soon, but for now, that's it. Thanks.